Good morning. Welcome to your daily morning digest for Sunday, February 15th, 2026. Grab your coffee and settle in, because we've got a lot to cover today, from a meaningful shift in the US economy to record-breaking speed on the ice in Italy, and finally, some timeless wisdom on how the smallest changes in your life can lead to the biggest results. Let's dive straight into the markets. The big story hitting the wires this weekend is the latest US inflation data, and for once, it's some genuinely good news for your wallet. The Consumer Price Index, or CPI, just came in lower than anyone expected. Prices rose by 2.4% annually in January, which sounds like just a number, but in the context of the last few years, it's a major signal. Economists were looking for 2.5%, so that slight dip below the forecast is giving the markets a lot of hope that the era of high inflation might finally be cooling off. If you look at core inflation, which ignores volatile things like food and energy, it hit its lowest level since 2021. This doesn't mean prices are falling everywhere, but the speed at which they are rising is slowing down. It's a bit of a sigh of relief for the Federal Reserve, and definitely something to watch as we head into the spring. However, while things are cooling in the States, they are heating up in Eastern Europe. Poland just reported that its inflation rate jumped to 2.2% in January. Now, that might sound lower than the US, but it actually overshot expectations and has analysts there worried about a resurgence in price pressures. It's a good reminder that the inflation fight isn't a straight line globally. Different regions are dealing with very different pressures right now. Moving over to the tech and stock world, Cathie Wood and her team over at ARK Invest have been busy repositioning. On Friday, Wood's flagship innovation ETF made some headlines by scooping up over 92,000 shares of Coinbase. That's about a $13 million bet on the crypto exchange. At the same time, they were offloading a significant chunk of Airbnb. It's a classic Cathie Wood move, doubling down on high-conviction disruptive tech while trimming back on travel names. Speaking of institutional moves, let's talk about a big shift in India's financial sector. Manappuram Finance, a major Indian lender, just got the green light from the Reserve Bank of India for Bain Capital to take joint control. This is a massive private equity infusion into one of India's most prominent non-banking financial companies. It shows just how much global capital is still hungry for a piece of the Indian growth story, particularly in specialized lending. Briefly checking in on the retail and commodities front, Funko, yes, the company that makes those little big-headed pop culture figures you see on everyone's desks, managed to buy themselves some breathing room. They've extended their credit agreement maturity out to late 2027. It's a strategic move to clean up their balance sheet while they navigate a changing retail landscape. And in the world of geopolitical commodities, President Trump has been speaking to troops about the tension with Iran. He described fear as a powerful motivator in negotiations, signaling a very tough love approach to the ongoing talks aimed at curbing Iran's oil sales to China. It's a high-stakes game of poker that has direct implications for global oil prices. Now, let's step away from the ticker tape and look at some of the fascinating things happening in the wider world. If you haven't been following the 2026 Winter Games in Milano Cortina, you are missing a historic performance. American speed skating phenom Jordan Stoltz is making the ice look like it's standing still. Just hours ago, the 21-year-old captured his second gold medal of the Games, winning the 500-meter sprint in a heart-pounding 33.79 seconds. Not only did he win, but he shattered the Olympic record. Earlier this week, he did the exact same thing in the 1,000-meter race. This kid is on a quest for 4 golds, and the way he's skating right now, it looks like he might just pull it off. He's the first American man to dominate speed skating like this in over a decade. It's pure, raw athletic excellence. And if you're a fan of the future, the fallout from CES 2026 is still rippling through the tech world. The big theme this year? Smart glasses that finally don't look like bulky science experiments. We're seeing a new generation of XR glasses from Meta, Google, and Vuzix that are essentially putting a high-end AI assistant right in your field of vision. These aren't just for notifications anymore, they're doing real-time language translation, recording video hands-free, and even handling QR payments with a blink. It feels like we're finally moving past the smartphone era into something much more seamless. And now, let's shift gears to today's Life Wisdom segment. Today, we're talking about a concept popularized by James Clear in his book Atomic Habits, The Power of Being Just 1% Better Every Day. It's easy to get discouraged when we don't see massive, overnight results. We want the 30-pound weight loss today, the promotion tomorrow, or the masterpiece finished by the weekend. But James Clear argues that true success doesn't come from massive leaps, it comes from the aggregation of marginal gains. If you can improve any area of your life by just 1% every single day, the math is staggering. By the end of 1 year, you won't just be 365% better. Due to the power of compounding, you will be 37 times better than where you started. The trick is to focus on systems over goals. A goal is a result you want to achieve, but a system is the process that leads to those results. If you're a writer, your goal might be to write a book, but your system is the habit of writing 200 words every morning. If you focus on the system, on that tiny 1% daily effort, the goal eventually takes care of itself. Clear also talks about identity-based habits. Instead of saying, "I'm trying to run a marathon," say, "I am a runner." When you change your identity, the habits follow. You don't do the habit to get a result, you do the habit because it's who you are. So, as you go into your Sunday, ask yourself, what is one tiny, 1% improvement I can make today? It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be consistent. Because those tiny wins, when added up over time, are what eventually change your world. That's all for today's digest. I hope you found those stories as interesting as I did. Have a fantastic Sunday, keep chasing that 1%, and I'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Goodbye.